These are 5 ways that Meta could be costing you money in 2025. Number 1, not allocating enough budget to your promotions. In 2025, people have less disposable income and everyone is looking for a deal. It's gotten harder to convert people, and so we need to find additional ways to drive that urgency and drive value for the customer. Something we hear a lot from brands that we work with is, I'm selling a premium brand, I don't always want to offer promotions. I understand that you don't want to have a promotion running all the time, but it is important to have a promotional calendar where you do have consistent promotions throughout the year. Something that a lot of these brands don't realize is that your conversion rate goes up so much during a promotion that it often outweighs the fact that you have a lower margin or a deeper discount. And so it's important that we have our promotions set up in a way where we can then increase our conversion rates, and this is going to allow us to spend more money, more of our budget during that promotion. What we normally recommend is you spend 70% of your budget on that promotion and then 30% during the evergreen periods when the promotions are not running. And that itself is going to actually increase your return on ad spend quite a bit for the month overall. Now, if you increase your everyday price point, this allows you to have that margin for those promotions. If you feel like you don't have the margin to do that, just increase your everyday price point a little bit. Let's say it's 10%, and then you can have room for a 10% promotion, and then increase the number of promotions that you have throughout the year. This might not be the strategy that you use every year moving forward, but definitely in 2025, this is one way to drive urgency and keep your conversion rates up. And if you do this, you will see a fairly significant lift in profit and your return on ad spend. Now, a couple suggestions I have is don't discount too deeply. You have to be careful. If your discounts are too deep, you're going to offset any of the benefit of running that promotion. You also just need to make sure that you're running the promos. We have a lot of brands that don't want to run any promos at all, and I understand that seems ideal. When you look at a lot of the big brands out there, a lot of the premium brands, they are running promotions all the time. I would still be making sure that you have several promotions throughout the year. Make sure you're spending that 70% of your monthly budget during that promo. Then you're going to find that that conversion rate lift from that 70% is going to be far greater than the promotion itself, and that's going to give you that extra profit. Number 2, attribution and deduplication settings in Meta. Getting attribution wrong is one of the most costly mistakes within Meta. This is one of the things that we find all the time with different brands. When we go through the ad account, we look at all of the different attribution settings. So you can find the 1-day click, 7-day click, 28-day click, 1-day view, and also your 1-day engaged view. What you want to do is you want to click on at least 1-day click and 7-day click, and you can compare those as well as 1-day view. Where we see the most money being lost is on the 1-day view. So if you're advertising mostly to warm customers, let's say you have a large established customer base and you're doing a little bit of advertising to that warm customer base, you're going to have a lot of 1-day view conversions, and that's not what you want to be seeing, because that means that you're essentially paying for sales that you likely would have received otherwise. So make sure that when you're auditing your accounts, you're reviewing those attribution settings to see whether it's a 7-day click or a 1-day view that the conversion is associated with. Now, as far as setting it up with the deduplication settings, there's a very good guide. Just search on Google for deduplication through GTM, where you can set this up so that it's making sure that you're not getting any duplicate conversion. And that's really important to ensure that you have accurate conversion tracking. Also, in terms of the setup, we recommend generally 7-day click. You can use a 1-day view as well. It gives you additional data, but the 7-day click often finds you more of those cold customers. So if you're looking for that new customer acquisition, those cold customers, and growing that aspect of your sales, you really want to be focused on the 7-day click. Number 3, low EMQ scores in meta ads. When it comes to meta ads, good data in is going to get you good results out. If you put bad data in, you're going to get bad results out. You can't fully trust the algorithm, even though the algorithm's gotten so good at predicting who your customers are. It's all about the volume of high quality data that you're putting into the algorithm. If you're not giving it the right data or high quality data, then it's also not going to find the right customers for you. So we always suggest run your broad tests, but make sure that you're not too trusting of that algorithm. make sure that you check that the data going in is high quality and that there's a high volume of it. One thing you can do is you can go to your events manager, and in there you'll see your event match quality, your EMQ scores, and you might see that they're anywhere between like a 4 and a 6 out of 10. Ideally, what you would like to see, especially on the purchase conversion, which is the most important, is an 8 out of 10. And if you're not achieving that, then that's something that you need to be improving either with a third-party app or your CAPI integration. Ideally, we're looking for an 8 out of 10 that signals that you're sending lots of the right data to the algorithm. Now, the other thing about this is if you're getting poor EMQ scores, you don't want to be spending all of your time creative testing, because if you don't have good quality data going in, the creative is not even going to matter that much. So what you want to do is first stop, fix your EMQ scores, and then go back to your creative testing. Make sure that these are tracking properly before you waste all of your time testing things, but it can't even find the right audience. You could end up in a situation where you have great creative that's not finding the right audience, and therefore you think the creative is not good enough. Number 4, not utilizing your breakdowns. So, like I said earlier, don't trust the algorithm unless you have a high volume of good data going into the algorithm. What we see is that in 9 out of 10 cases, broad will actually win over the more traditional forms of targeting. But this, again, it's all coming back to how good your data is going into the algorithm. And we don't mean just view content data, we mean purchase conversion specifically. Now, here's the thing. If you have a low volume of data or a low quality of data, the thing that you have to remember is that your customer better than Meta. So things like changing your regions and changing your age categories, your age groups that you're targeting, can have a huge impact on your performance. We know that there's certain age groups based on disposable income, based on stage of life, where they're buying certain products that they will otherwise not be purchasing. If you have it targeting all age groups, but you're selling a product that's specifically for mothers or babies, it doesn't make sense to be targeting those younger age groups, right? So you have to ensure that based on what you know about the customer, that you're telling the system what the right targeting is. So make sure that you're turning off that Advantage Plus targeting and selecting the right age groups. Most cases when you're starting out, this is how I would recommend doing it. You still want to test the broad Advantage Plus. However, once you start sending a good volume of good quality data to the algorithm, lots of purchase conversions, then you can give it free rein to really do the targeting for you. But unless you're doing that, you have to make sure that you're telling it who your customer is. The thing that's so dangerous about this is that false positives will mislead Meta about your audience. So if you have ads that are very engaging, but they're engaging the wrong audience, it will start to think that that is your audience. If it doesn't have the purchase conversions and it's just going off of click-through rate, it's looking at who's commenting, who's clicking, all of those things, it can go down the wrong path and find the wrong audience. You might get into a situation where you have to start a new pixel and start over once you're getting your conversions going. Number 5, not utilizing a landing page with an offer. So this is a really big one. Conversion rate is more important than ever. The easiest way to bring down your CPA is by increasing your conversion rate. And so this is really about having an alignment between your offer, your ad, and where the person is landing. Yes, we have to have a very optimized website. We have to have an optimized product page. But even then, you may not be able to achieve the conversion rate that you're looking for in terms of scaling your business model with paid ads. You may have to rely on organic because you just might not get the KPIs you're looking for. So it's important that if you want to scale with paid ads, that you're using some sort of a landing page with an offer, and this can really help to improve your AOV. It can decrease your cost of acquisition, and the right offer is going to let you hit those KPIs that are needed to scale with advertising. Your ad creative ideally should be a one-to-one match with your landing page in terms of the messaging and the ad angle that you're taking. Now, there's lots of different types of landing pages that you can do. Advertorials are very successful. Video landers or bundle offers or promotions that are specific to, a seasonality or a specific campaign. Now, it's really important that you're using the right tools to do this. We like to use Format because it just allows you to build a lot of those bundles and offers and test out different offers. And you can't do that with all of the different landing page tools out there. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope this was valuable. These are really important things to be looking at for Meta in 2025. Definitely check out my YouTube channel and give me a subscribe.